Okay, so you can see where we are. That was the piece we were trying to get loose and stuck to this piece. So you can see this one is connected with this bolt, or this screw. I mean, I think we can leave it where it is. Don't need to remove that. We need to remove these screws, and they're here and going all the way that side. I don't think we need to remove everything. I think only the blade itself will be enough. What I see also connected here and there and there. Oh, and there I see some leaking. Oh man, it's going to be a lot of work here on this car. Like really a lot. Okay, I decided to get a bigger size screwdriver because these screws, I think, I'm not quite sure, have like a plastic top. Might be wrong. No, I'm not wrong. This is plastic, and I've got some experience with another Jaguar, and I removed some of these blocks that go underneath here, and well, they were damaged, and there was just no way of getting new ones. And I think somebody has been messing with this car before, because what I can see here is this 30mm star shape. So this is what we're going to use, and I also need again the 10mm thing to remove one of. Oh, where is it? Here, this one. So they've just used several screws on this machine. Alright. So what I did also, I just decided to get off the whole plate completely. There was, let me see, there was a bolt here, there was a bolt there, and one here, and so on. And the last one I need to take care of is the one here, and there's oil on it, I think, or some kind of leakage. So as you can see here, it's fluids. I'm going to remove that one. Alright, all screws are loose, and what I know, I need to pull it backwards like so. Oh, and still, let me see. Alright, I'm going to show you what you need to find. At least if I can get my light on. So we've got the screw over there, and it goes to the radiator. Here's the radiator. So there's the coolant line that goes into the radiator, and it's the lowest spot for the coolant line. So if we unscrew this, and be careful because it's going to go all sides, it's not going to go just dripping in easily down. It will leak a lot, so you need to wear gloves and put something underneath. So here you can see the pump, I think, of the air conditioning, and above it, I'm not quite sure if I can show you well. Yeah, there you can see. Yeah, there you can see the alternator sitting above it. Alright, so I got like this bucket, and for this I'm also using something to contain all the dirt later on in the process. So before we continue, we need to unscrew the battery and in this case we need to remove the battery completely. So I already opened up the lid from inside the car, and here's the lid. Move it towards you and this way. So beneath here, so beneath this cover there's the battery, and this cover is all loose. We just can move it a little bit backwards and up, and beneath is my battery. I'm going to place this cover somewhere aside. What you can see here, this is the coolant reservoir, so there's coolant in there. And if we want to drain the coolant, it's important to unscrew this. You also need, I think, a 10mm for this one and for that one, and then you can just raise it up. Then you need to remove first the minus and then the plus, and if later on you're going to put it back, first plus then minus, else there are going to be sparks and things you don't want. And be aware when you're working, put aside these cables, like behind over there for the minus and behind over there for the plus, so they don't reach these poles. And then if you remove all of this, then you can move up the battery and put it somewhere aside. Okay, so I removed one of these bolts. You can see it over here. It comes from there. And now if this one is free, I think because of the light you can see it, but there it's like stuck. So what you need to do is move this to the front and move this one loose. And now you can do the same thing, but be careful not to touch these bolts. So same thing over here. You don't need to unscrew this one. Just move it. Perhaps. Yeah, it's loose. Okay, like so. And okay, I'm going to put this together also with the nut. It's a nut, not a bolt. And then if I've got everything together, it's easier to find and assemble it later on. So it looks like this. Okay, now we go for the minus. Okay, I'm going to put this over here, and then you can go to the plus of this car and unscrew it, and also put it somewhere safe over there. Okay, I just temporarily put it behind this cable, and now I can put the battery out because it's not stuck by anything else. The lid is up. This is very heavy. So what you end up with is an empty container where the battery was laying in, and I think it's completely loose. Perhaps it's not loose in your case, but in my car it's just loose, so we put it aside. Okay, I can see clearly that's coolant leaking. So that's the reason it was all wet and starting to rust below. So I need to figure out where this coolant is leaking from. It can be from all kinds of spots. Okay, I need to check that. Anyway, here behind this, so this here is the water pump. So also want to remove that one. So for this you need to remove this belt, and from what I know there is a tensioner of that one, so I need to pull this one a bit up, and then you can remove the belt from these pulleys. They're called pulleys, whatever. Anyway, and then you can easily just remove those screws and just remove the water. But for now, I'm going to first, because I'm going to drain this fluid, we're going to uncover this, remove this. Okay, the reason we do this, if it's like this, you can just pull with a little bit of force. Do need to do it with two hands. All right. So in my case, I really had to force it up. So there was no screwing. After it was just screwing like loosely. Just had to put it out with force and keep this one down and pull with my other hand upwards. So here inside you can see the coolant. Oh, this is better to see it. This side with the light from the side. I can see there's some debris in my coolant, which shouldn't be right. And you can also see the maximum here, where so the highest level of the coolant, and somewhere below is the lowest level of the coolant. So this is how you can check where exactly, or if there's enough coolant in your system. So the reason we did unscrew this, because there needs to be air coming from above to let the coolant drain out. If we don't do so, there will be coolant still in the system. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove here this cover and loosen this piece here, because we're going to remove the intake, which is I can do it with two hands. So it's like this metal thing here, this big one, and it's fastened with a lot of screws. I think 10